My name is Garth DeAngelis. I'm the lead producer on XCOM Enemy Unknown. What we were trying to do is reimagine the classic PC title from the early 90s. We're reimagining, making it an action strategy title for the current generation.
Okay, so what do you think are the core aspects of XCOM that cannot be modified?
As my lead designer Jake would say, everything. We need everything from the original, but no, in actuality, there was a few tenets that we focused on when we kicked off the project. XCOM, for those that don't know, it's really like two giant games in one. You have the strategy layer, where you're making these big sweeping decisions about this global alien war. And then you have the tactical layer, which are these intimate decisions where you have these individual units fighting each alien. And these games interplay with each other. So we had to make sure first and foremost that was there. You had this interplay between the strategy layer and the tactical layer. On the combat, or the tactical layer, we wanted it to be turn-based, which was, again, a pillar of the original game. We have destructibility in the game, like the original did. You can blow away cover, cars, whole building walls. We have fire, things like that. And then back on the strategy layer, you have these different rooms in base where you can make these decisions, like research, engineering, and you can do things like base expansion. So you saw the demo, you saw the ant farm and things like that. Players can actually customize that ant farm. They can excavate deeper and build it however they want. And then you get these different gameplay benefits from the rooms that you build, and that's all just like the original game.
So, have you been at all surprised by the enthusiasm when this game was announced?
Yeah, I mean, it was wonderful to see. You know, it was funny. We got like this big spike in enthusiasm when we were announced, and then the first batch of screenshots were revealed, and we had some of those very passionate fans that we respect dearly, you know, start telling us, wait, this is different from the original, and this one's different also. So it sort of was a lot of enthusiasm, and then some skepticism, and that's going to happen. It's going to be ongoing, but we really hope the planning we did to respect the spirit of the original, fans will be happy with in the end product.
So what makes Firaxis uniquely perfect to be making this game?
Wow, uniquely perfect. I like how you put that. I mean, yes, I agree with you. No, Firaxis has a pedigree for building deep strategy games, as you know, with Civilization, Alpha Centauri, all of Sid Meier's projects. And it just made sense. I mean, XCOM was a Microprose project, and we have developers from Microprose still in the studio. So those hardcore fans that are really vocal about what we're doing with the game right now, we have a lot of those fans on the team. So they've been ingrained in the process, the decisions that have been made. Firaxis makes deep strategy titles. That's what XCOM is. So I think it's a really, really good fit.
Could you talk a little bit more about, when you're looking at enhancing aspects of XCOM, what were some of the immediate, like, we gotta have this in there?
Yeah, well, gameplay-wise, again, Jake said we gotta have everything that the original had. One of the obvious ones, as you can tell, are the visuals. You know, we have full 3D assets where you can pull down these really cool cinematic action cameras when you are blowing away an alien, or if you're crashing through a window, it'll cut to this really cool camera scene. So we're doing these things to upgrade from the original that will make the experience, as you're making these really cool, deep decisions on a tactical layer, you're also getting these like action-oriented elements to it, which we think will cater to folks that otherwise may not dive into a deep strategy game.
So how would you pitch XCOM to someone who's never, ever played it before?
Oh, man, that's a hard question. I mean, there really is no other game like it, right? I mean, there's not another, certainly on the consoles, there's no other game like it. And even when it comes to PC, the way that XCOM is built, that foundation is so different, which I think is why it's so beloved. Even as a 1994 title, to this day, people are still playing on Steam and having so much fun with it, because there's nothing else like it. So it's really hard to compare it to anything. So the way I would pitch it is, you know, you have this alien invasion, you have these, you can make every single decision, from the high-level decisions that change the course of the war from your headquarters to, again, the small-scale, intimate decisions with every single individual soldier that you groom and build in every single battle with those aliens. So marrying those two together is what makes XCOM so special.
So this game is coming out on PlayStation 3, yes. And that'd be something interesting.
Yeah, that would be an interesting decision. Yeah.
I was going to ask, was it challenging to condense the controls for a console controller?
Yeah, so the company for Access has a lot of experience with that. If you think of Civilization Revolution from Civilization, and our UI and design team did a phenomenal job looking at all the things you could do in XCOM on PC, you know, holding that Xbox or PlayStation 3 controller and saying, how do we map this? How do we make it happen? And it sounds daunting, right? There's a lot of decisions you can do, but they did an excellent, elegant job, and we're actually not using every single button on the 360 controller. A lot of stuff is contextual. When you look at things like the shot HUD, when the camera went down behind the guy, we have that list of abilities that you can do. So it's similar to like a radio menu on Mass Effect. We're taking advantage of things on the console to make everything fit. And they did a really good job of it. The demo you saw today was driven by an Xbox 360 controller. We've tested it with a ton of people on console, and that gamer IQ is there. People can instantly pick up the controller, start moving around, start aiming and shooting at aliens, and we're happy with what they came up with.
So what are you most excited for people to see with XCOM Enemy Unknown?
Oh man, you're asking such tough questions, because I'm excited for the whole thing. I'm so proud of what the team has done. There is not any other game like it, so I'm just excited to see how fans react to it. I think the ant farm, the base we're calling it, is going to be extra special. I think people are reacting really cool to that. You see some people being like, wow, that reminds me of my old school G.I. Joe base, or you know, my old He-Man Castle Grayskull, where you can open it up and start putting figures around. It's just a really cool visual way to display the HQ, and I think people are really going to take nicely to that.
And when can people look forward to this game?
Fall 2012.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Pleasure to meet you.